welcome to Segra Field as Loudoun United and Miami FC get set for kickoff on a warm day in Leesburg, Virginia with Devin Kerr. I'm Michael Watring. Great to have you with us for this matchup this evening. Two teams that, as it stands right now, are in contrasting positions. Miami sitting in a playoff spot right now, 28 points overall. They sit in a comfortable position, but Loudoun on the other side is sitting in a spot that they have a couple games in hand of pretty much every single other team in the entire Eastern Conference. As you take a look at Miami there in the 7 slot, trying to chase down Birmingham and Detroit to solidify their position in the top 7 of the Eastern Conference. Loudoun on the other side, they are towards the bottom of the table, but look at the games played. Just 18, 3 in hand on Atlanta United, 3 in hand on FC Tulsa as well. So in position, perhaps with some positive results, that they move in to a playoff position. And it's a Loudoun team, Devin, that as always, a very youthful overall side. And in their last 5, they've conceded a lot of goals.
You're going to sound a little bit like a broken record, the two of us, when it comes to Loudoun and Miami. So let's start with the A side and Loudoun United. 1-1-3, 15 goals conceded over the last 5 games. There's a consistency in their performances that is just lacking, and that's what you're going to deal with when you have younger players. But plenty of talent and plenty of vision in the attacking end. Can you make sure that both sides of the ball are solidified? That's going to be the question once again against a defensive-minded Miami FC. But Skage Simonsen and what he's been able to do, scored a 56-minute goal in their exhibition match against Bayern Munich. Plays anywhere that he wants on the front line, really comfortable down into the pocket as well. He's going to be a key focal point for Loudoun tonight.
Without Abukara as well, the team's leading goal scorer, who is representing his national team in Egypt. And Miami, conversely, on the other side, a team that has traveled a boatload over the next few games, 3 of the next 4 on the road, for a team that hasn't really fared all that well away from home at this juncture, with trips across the country and back in the midweek, and then having to come back as well. Here is Kyle Murphy. They need him to start finding the back of the net with a higher frequency if they're going to be able to solidify their playoff position. It is a Miami side that enters 7-7-7 overall on the year. Loudoun on the other side, looking to make a push for the playoffs on the home pitch here at Segra Field. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff and the starting 11s, Loudoun United and Miami, coming up next.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Welcome you back to Segra Field. The wind picking up and there's some rain in the area, so we will enter a delay here between Loudoun United and Miami FC. Stick with us. We'll have updates for you when we restart here in a moment. Welcome back to Segra Field. Just about ready to kick things off after nearly a 110-minute delay here due to weather. Starting to clear out, and Loudoun United getting set to host Miami FC. 6th all-time meeting between the two crews. Loudoun has won just one of the previous 5. Miami has seen good goal-scoring form in that stretch. 2+ goals in 4 of the first 5 meetings, but that has been a grind for this Miami group in this year's run of play. But they are above the playoff line, and we're just about ready for kickoff here with Devin Kerr. I'm Michael Watrang. Delighted to have you stick around during this delay and get ready for this action. The fans that were able to hang around during the weather delay, excited to watch this one. Miami in the all-blue uniform, tops and bottoms. Loudoun counters with the all-whites for this matchup. And we are ready to roll here from Segra Field. Thumbs up all around. A check of the watch one final time. Whistle blows and we're ready to roll. Miami and Loudoun clashing for this matchup with Devin Kerr. Michael Watrang bringing you the action for this contest. And Devin, we saw Miami last week. They dominated for about 15 minutes against Charleston and then struggled to add to that tally. They did get the 1-0 win, but finding the back of the net has been the biggest problem with this Miami crew, and that's what Anthony Pulis spoke about this week, trying to find that form for this team to score more goals.
Well, I mentioned coming in that it was going to sound like a broken record for both teams. The A side of it was Loudoun United trying to find a way with their young crew to put together a consistency of performance, not just back-to-back games, but within a singularity movement, right? If you can find a way to go 30, 60, 90 minutes all at once, because they show you small windows, but they don't do it in the large sample size, so they usually start to taper off in certain zones. Miami FC is a different story. Their quality of level is quite high, and they have competed with some of the best in the USL Championship and usually can be the aggressor. But it does come down to your initial statement of the number 9 spot. They've got to find a way to get someone going, because you can get little goals from Joaquin Rivas, Florian Velo, Josh Perez. All of them can start to pitch in. But if you do not get guys like Kyle Murphy or Romeo Parks regularly hitting the score sheet, you're going to be doomed. And that's why they're sitting right there at the playoff cutoff line.
2 of the 4 lowest scoring teams in the USL Championship for Miami. It's been 8 matches in a row with 1 goal or fewer. They've been shut out twice in that stretch, and trying to find multiple goals, it has not happened in nearly 2 months. Does that change tonight on the road against this young Loudoun crew? As here's a foul whistled against Akinyoti. For Miami, when you brought in Kyle Murphy, you expected that the goals would be free-flowing for a player that put up amongst the most in USL Championship history last year with Memphis, 20 of them. But just 3 so far. Granted, at the end of last year is when he hit his surge for goal-scoring prowess. Can he duplicate that here? A team that currently in the playoff line, but as you mentioned, there's some teams below with some games in hand that certainly could make that push that would potentially knock Miami out of the top 7 spots.
Kyle Murphy definitely has the ability to be the number 1 overall striker for a squad. I would say that the common misnomer about him is coming off the great season that was Michael, and the 21 goals, both regular season and playoffs for 901 FC. People looked around and thought, okay, maybe he can do this again. Remember, at one point in time, he was the leading scorer for 3 separate organizations. That was RGV, Loudoun, and then 901 FC. It's just the 2 now because of what's gone on at 901 FC. But within that argument, he's not going to be a 20-plus goal scorer every single season, but he should be able to give you somewhere in the area of the 10 to 14 range. That right there on average will get you to a really good spot if you're Anthony Pulis. So you're just looking for that surge that you referenced before. He could easily bag 7 down the tail end of this stretch. All of a sudden, he's got 10. You're looking around going, well, he's got 7. 5 of them are game winners. And out of those 5, that's given us an extra 15 points we didn't think we were going to get, which has pushed us into a solid spot for a playoff position.
Loudoun mounts the first charge here, switching fields. Downs, pivots. Well, conversely, in the conversation that we had with Ryan Martin and this Loudoun United team, when you have a group like this in Loudoun that is very youthful, first and foremost, and then also where as much as winning is the goal, it's just as much of a goal, if not bigger, to develop talent that pushes them up to the first team with DC United or internationally as well. And this is a team that has certainly seen that with the performances of Ted Cudi Pietro, easy for me to say, on the midweek against Bayern Munich. And that's exactly what Loudoun United is trying to do with this youthful team. Here's Murphy, cutting it back below. He's it all the way back for Akin Yodi, and it gets blocked. Segbers plays forward, and it's cleared. This is exactly what Miami worked on throughout the week. Finding that finishing touch inside of the 18-yard box. Throw-in coming from the far sideline. There is Ryan Martin, leader of this Loudoun United crew. He said, how many guys can we get to Wayne Rooney in the first team? He said 10 roughly in the last 3 years, playing significant minutes. Sammy Gadiri among those players that recently earned the first team kit. This ball goes out, and here's our first corner of the match. Miami just 2 wins over the last 9 matches. Team with a goal differential of exactly 0 at this point. And here's the first corner of the match. It's low, it's short, comes all the way out for Velo. It hits a body and then gets skied over the top of the bar. And another corner coming up for Miami FC. Akin Yodi, the last one to take a stab at it.
You got to respect the last-ditch defending, though, on the back post because there's a ton of bodies in the way. Very easy in this situation for someone to slide back over. And if it's Ofemu, Akin Yodi, Speedy Williams back there could easily drift off and get something on frame.
Loudoun handles this for the moment, but Velo comes back onto it. Rivas into the box, over the head of Murphy. And Yodi will track it down. Miami setting up a little bit of pressure here with possession. Segbers. Hustled by Liati. He gets taken down as Ofemu slow to get up here, and that'll warrant a stoppage in play here in the 9th minute.
Just seemed right as he played this ball, Michael, that it's coming over the right shoulder, the contact that is created. He just pivots down into the ground and then trying to spring here, the follow through right there. See behind him the way that his knee almost buckles up underneath him. No contact, just right there. Oh. Oh. I've been there. I'm sick to my stomach. You hope he's all right. And this is one of those ones that you just feel like the way that it moves, you bounce off of it a little bit, knee pops, and then all of a sudden doesn't feel the same. Just making sure that he's okay. That's a much better look than what you initially saw.
Femu, 21 years of age, as we take a look at the keys to tonight's matchup, brought to you by Country Buick GMC. Loudoun, limit them in transition. Miami lock in for a full 90 minutes, get Kyle Murphy rolling. That's certainly the big key right now, it feels like, for Miami. Even speaking with Anthony Pulis, find a way to get multiple goals in a match, find a way to get more dangerous, because as it stands right now, they lead the USL Championship in clean sheets. And with 10 of those in the pocket, you would expect perhaps a better record than just 7 wins. Good to see Ofemu back on the pitch. And now he shakes it off, and I don't believe that he is going to continue. Looks like he was going to be able to get back out there and continue on his shift, but as he steps back out there, it looks like he will be unable to do so, and very unfortunate.
He's upset. You can tell he's very upset, and players coming over to check on him. There's an emotion right now for Ben Ofemo that you just hope that this is nothing long-term, and it's just a sting in the knee that's precautionary. Literally been in this exact situation, and you take one more look at it. Again, when you cut back across here, watch the right knee. Just buckles back to the inside. And what's the change that Anthony Pulis makes? Does he go with Callan Chapman-Page or someone a bit more versatile that gives you an extra attacking look? And a guy like Junior Palacios, the out-and-out center back, of course, is number 4, Callan Chapman-Page, but Junior Palacios does give you the freedom, if you want to change within systems, to bump him off the back line up into the midfield. Or even do so moving to the wingbacks with Mark Segbers. We've seen that in games past, so that they have been the more traditional route of that 4-2-3-1, and it will be Callan Chapman-Page. His number called for the injured Ben Ofemo. That'll slide Paco Craig over next to Aiden Stanley now.
Part of that back line that has been one of the stingiest in the USL Championship, over 200 minutes now without allowing a goal. Pass through the middle of the field, and a good build here for Loudoun after Miami had controlled a big chunk of the possession there. Loudoun, the second fewest goals scored in the league this year. Good build up. Fletcher has it deflected. It comes for a rebound, and it goes home. Zane, the teenager, opens the scoring in the 13th minute. Loudoun on top, 1-0.
Watch the separation that's created here on the run by Christian Fletcher. Out to the left-hand side. Great job by Carson Bobstein to just continue this along. Jeremy Garay's got his head up. But as you pinch out to the outside, he creates this space. The problem is that Akinyoti and Mark Segbers aren't sure who's to step to him. By the time they make a decision, everybody's forgot about the back post run of Zane. He just sneaks all the way in through, gets one-on-one with Connor Sparrow. He was cheating to the near post. I can't blame the goalkeeper, and a fantastic finish by Zane to give them the lead.
Second of the season for the 19-year-old from the Ivory Coast. Put one in a matchup with Birmingham Legion on April 24th. And Loudoun has the lead against a Miami team that hadn't allowed a goal since the 69th minute against Pittsburgh 211 minutes ago.
by number 7.
Below pushes forward into the box now for Miami. And the visitors respond.
45, Christian Fletcher.
Williams. Chapman Page. Rivas into the box. Murphy was running onto it. Couldn't get the left boot up in time. One 0 Loudoun. Just the 20th goal of the year, but it's a Loudoun team that's starting to get hot. 9 of those 20 have come in the last 4+ matches now.
This is a Miami team that just does not do well at all in playing from a behind position, Michael. Have not won a single game, and they've conceded first in the USL Championship this year. It's a better response from Joaquin Rivas 7 times this year. They are the first to go down. Only once out of the 7 have they been able to get a point. That gives you an idea of the DNA of this squad and the lack of ability to work their way back into a match. There was the chance by Murphy just seconds ago. A good response by Joaquin Rivas. Can you follow it up once again?
Third corner of the night. Gets punched away. Loudoun has been in much better form here at Segra Field, unbeaten in 4 of the last 5. 1-6-1 away, though. That has been the biggest issue for Ryan Martin's crew. Rivas. Williams takes aim and a tie. We've played roughly 16 minutes of this match, and this is as close as Miami has gotten. A ball, though, always rising.
It's just too much pace behind it, unfortunately, for Speedy Williams. Joaquin Rivas, good move back to the inside. He had the overlapping run down in. Back heel would have suited him nicely. Just struggling a little bit right now with the rotation from Loudoun United in terms of what their shape is going to be defensively. That's why you see a lot of players in blue jerseys tracking left and right. They've switched out of the traditional 3-back that they've been playing for really the entirety of the season. I like the move here by Rio Hopegun as well.
Zane to get enough of it to pass it back to Garay. Excellent move to create some space. Now a shot from distance that Sparrow absorbs. Here at Segra Field, something to cheer about. A 1-0 lead in hand. A foul whistled against the home side. Come in and stay a while. Miami and Loudoun squaring off for the 6th time with Devin Kerr, Michael Watring, and our entire crew, bringing you the action here from Leesburg, Virginia. Below. Sent out wide, now back through the middle, and a little punching shot that Zamudio grasps. Fletcher was able to shake a defender, but couldn't maintain possession. Segbers brings it down. Finds some real estate, playing it forward. Sorto wins yet another corner. It'll be the fourth of the matchup for Miami.
That's good defending by Carson Baumsteeg, though. He doesn't get caught off in the theatrics. Down on the byline, center back just slides over. And what it looks like next to he, Jalen Robinson, and Rio Hopegun. Jacob Green's going to push a little bit higher. It's a very similar role, though, for Rio Hopegun. And outside right back in Jacob Green will push up into the attack as to what he saw under Brian Weiss at Georgetown.
That ball sums up really Miami's season from an offensive perspective. Two players, unmarked, empty net. Neither could link up to it.
You could really feel the pain when dissecting the season for Miami FC, and Anthony Pulis' voice, nail on the head. He says regularly, we don't necessarily get broken down, we beat ourselves. That's a pretty good example of it. You provide yourself the opportunity, even with a little bit of luck on your side, and still can't finish it off. At some point in time, though, if you want any sort of chance, the way that teams around you are streaking, great example, FC Tulsa tonight. Heck of a result on the road, take down Birmingham Legion. If the result holds, Miami FC's lead has slipped all the way down to 3 points with 12 games to go. Plenty of time for that squad just below the playoff time to pick off the boys in blue. They've got to start putting some of these away.
16 of the 21 matches this year for Miami, 1 or fewer goals. And those last couple moments showcasing the frustration that it's been for Miami, and perhaps maybe a little bit of it becoming mental at this point. Probably a conversation within the club, throughout training sessions, throughout film sessions, of finding more ways to score and finish. They've had a couple chances. That last one from Paco Craig, previously from Kyle Murphy, but unable to put the ball in the net so far. Loudoun has the lone goal. Zane, his second of the year, in the 13th minute. Loudoun has been dangerous at home. Remember the 4-3 victory over Phoenix that they led at one point by multiple goals, gave up a couple in the last 10 minutes. Shifting Fields all the way over. Unfortunately for Loudoun, Robinson wins the battle. Otherwise, perhaps a streaking chance for Miami. Garay switches Fields. Hopegun. Excellent passing. Miami able to defend, however. Fletcher switches Fields. Excellent first touch, down circles and skies.
I like it, though. This is a very dangerous ball played by Christian Fletcher, not in the sense that he could get his team into trouble, just the ability to have this type of vision. And his head up, the switch to the other side of the top of the 18, expertly take it down by Jacob Green. I told you coming in, there's a quality within these young men that really showcases what the next level could be for them. The problem is, and Ryan Martin talked to us extensively about it, is how do you find a way to replicate it? He specifically cited Tyler Freeman, and okay, well, you know, you go out, you score a couple games in a row, or you have a good game, you have a goal, you have two. Great, well, that's over and done with. Now we got to follow that back up. And so how do you measure success if you're Ryan Martin in Loudoun United? But he gave a really telling and honest answer, and he said it's really challenging for me because he's a little bit handcuffed, right? He doesn't always control every single player in and out, but you have to zoom out and take the small victories. All right, a kid signs pro. Kuda Pietro in his goal versus Bayern Munich in the midweek, texting him thank you after that. Bucci called into the Egyptian U20s. You talked about that earlier. Jackson Hopkins on Ryan Martin's wedding day saying, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate everything that you do for me and my family. Zani and his MLS debut on the weekend, all of that starts to add up.
Here's a giveaway. Rivas. Excellent diving stop by Zamudio.
Everything adds up, they buy in, and then they start to lock it down. That certainly wasn't the way to go about it. Christmas gift coming early, no foul there. Florian Velo drops himself to the ground. That ball, though, you know, the magnificent that was on one side, almost maleficent on the other for Fletcher.
Cross towards the box, handled by Craig. Zane slide off of his boot. Does keep it in play, though. Green. Possession stays here with Loudoun. Yeah, I thought it was a very honest answer from Ryan Martin speaking about those moments. Right now, you have 4 teenagers in the starting 11. And he mentioned there's times where perhaps you have a player that you either just signed or you just developed into camp, and maybe they travel across the ocean to get over here or whatever it may be. They practice with the first team with DC United, and then they're sent right back to him. And that's obviously a challenging position to be in as a foul is whistled here. When you're practicing with that first team, you're probably not getting the same type of training and reps that you would be. And then you have to settle back into playing this style, and when you're a teenager playing against very experienced players such as a Kyle Murphy that are a decade plus your senior, it makes it a challenge. But like he said, he's very proud of what he's been able to develop with Loudoun United to push those players to bigger and better things. Below, back post, headed, punch, Zamudio, strong punch away. Chapman Page was the target on the back post.
Really good save by Luis Zamudio. Started to cheat a little bit to the near post when he saw Joaquin Rivas eyeing this out. Drifts to the backside, and it's just excellent technique. Notice the hips, shoulders square. It gives him the ability, either right or left, to spring into action. An easy save at the end for him.
Corner into the box, punched down by Zamudio. Loudoun doing very nice work off of corners, and it's a great pass forward that leads to a leak out. Zane. Fletcher. These two have linked up before. Fletcher takes aim. Sparrow spikes it over the bar. Fletcher's been dangerous along this left side.
It's 3 separate players, though. Zamudio, the half volley on the ground. And then this is really smartly done if you're Zane. Notice he occupies the space and the players and just waits for support. And you're right, we just saw this about 5 minutes ago. If you're Fletcher, you want this a bit more to the outside. He catches it really true. Plenty of sting on the ball, but he's got to bring his hips a bit further out, then come back across it. If so, upper corner and 2-0.
First corner for Loudoun, headed away by Paco Craig. Loudoun United performing well here at home, as they have done frequently this season. Zane, a running start. Hits this one a tad high. Maybe ambitious that time around from the goal scorer, the 19-year-old. Loudoun 5 shots, 3 on target, 9 already for Miami. 3 of those have come on frame. Miami a slight edge in terms of overall possession, but nothing to show so far here in the first half. Slide tackle stopped there by Downs, and possession taken away by Loudoun. Here's Anthony Pulis. Garay switching fields. There's been a lot of space Along the outside channels, Hope Gun. Good turn from Fletcher. This time goes to the left foot. Goal kick as Segbers does very well defensively.
They're doing a good job within the midfield trio of Fletcher, Simonson, and Zane. They're pinching in narrow, so it's allowing the two underneath and Nicky Downs and Jeremy Gray to find combination play, and more so Jacob Green and Hope Gun getting to the outside. So what you're seeing, Michael, and you just addressed it a little bit, as they come off the back line, it seems like there's so much space because Rivas, Sorto are following the runners to the interior. And so Mark Segbers, Aiden Stanley, they've pushed themselves, especially Segbers, high into the attack. As he rotates up, Fletcher just comes back to the outside, or he lets the overlapping run of Hope Gun develop. Creates the 2v1, there's an overload, and plenty of time in the first 30 minutes. We've seen this left channel and both wings very active for Loudoun.
Below, Murphy a touch, Murphy a shot. Zamudio handles quite calmly. The emptiness on the outside channels exposed Miami in the 13th minute. Fletcher on the left side took a shot, it was blocked by a defender. Went all the way to the right-hand side, Zane was unmarked and tucked one away. That's why Loudoun has the lead against a Miami team that had recorded clean sheets in 3 of the last 4. Good pace here, latching onto it on the lengthy run. Liotti with the speed to maintain possession. You can see for a brief moment Sparrow was coming out to help. Crossfield switch goes out. Just over a half hour into this matchup after a 110-minute weather delay. Loudoun scoring in the 13th minute, has a 1-0 lead from that man, Abdul Zane. I'm Michael Watring with Devin Kerr and our entire crew. Watching this one with you. Hope you're having a fine night wherever you're watching it from. Has done this on a few occasions. Sag back defensively, allow Miami to have space. This ball pushed forward for Rivas. Robinson clears. Chapman Page. Sorto.
It's just too slow here. The side to side, you're hearing the shouts on the sideline from Anthony Pulis. Switch again, switch again. They're allowing Loudoun United to reset. It's the same thing over and over again. Into the interior, you're finding Speedy or Bolu. They move back out to the outside back. You drop in one of the center backs, and all of a sudden, what side do you go for? That's laid up top by Kyle Murphy. The ideas have to be faster, and you have to take chances too. I'm all for the rotation all the way back to the outside, but if you're gonna come back out, Segbers isn't out wide enough, he's not high enough, so when the ball gets to him, he's then gotta find a way to invent himself into the attack as opposed to already having an advanced role. Right on the swing over, an extra 5-yard step to the width, maybe even 10 yards on the vertical side of things. Allow Christian Sorto to then push himself to the inside. Give them something of an attacking look to see instead of this prototypical A to B to C.
Akinyoti goes out wide, now pushed into the box. Below punches it down. Miami equalizes. A big build-up from Miami. It took time, but a cross comes in. Below tucks it away. 1-1 here in the 34th minute.
Just ask for it, right? Get outside of the box here, and that's what Sorto does. He comes up, and look at the step. Speedy Williams out of the midfield. Where's the support going to come from? The roll, reinvented by Kyle Murphy, drops underneath, and now you get a secondary step from Bolu Akinyoti. Those are both your holding midfielders, and Speedy Williams and Akinyoti taking over this sequence. It's right to left, it's faster, it's a brilliant ball whipped in, and an even better header on the equalizer from Florian below.
Fingernails away from Zamudio, coming up with another strong save in the opening half. But Miami has pulled level Velow's second of the year. Also scored against Charleston on May 21st. And after falling behind roughly 20 minutes ago, Miami back level. Simonson drifts it forward. Liotti goes down and a foul given. Well, the good news if you're Miami is this is a Loudoun team that's given up multiple goals in 5 consecutive matches.
The bad news is this is unnecessary. This was a cause for concern in the conversation with Anthony Pulis, said that we constantly get ourselves in trouble. You do it once again, finally get your goal back, beautiful movement, and down in the corner. You set yourself up, you give it right back.
Downs, resets. Now into the box, headed back towards the middle of the area and cleared away. Didn't take a shot attempt there, it was headed back towards the 6. This is a stark contrast for Miami's overall picture this year, but you take a look at the initial pass in, and the header coming back through and intended for Liotti. Eventually got cleared. Miami 5 shots on target already in this match. They haven't had more than 6 in any contest this year. Been a little boom or bust of late. 5 or more attempts on target in 4 of the last 8, but in 2 of those other 4, they haven't had any. Seventh minute of a 1-1 tie at this point. Below goes wide once more. This one crushed all the way through the box. Sorto won't latch onto it, and it goes out for a throw. Foul given and sets up Miami. Below and Rivas will be on top of this one. Rivas in swinging, back post, bodies down in the box, goal kick. Chapman Page went down, hoping to draw the penalty. No whistle.
How much contact is in it? A little bit shielded as it got whipped in. No, nothing there. He's asking for it too. He's looking the entire way to see if he can get some help.
Gun the target, instead intercepted, played into space, and Zamudio handles. For those just tuning in here in the 39th minute, how do you explain two teams that are amongst the lowest scoring teams in the USL Championship providing a little bit of fireworks here in the opening half?
Explain it by just saying that the quality is always there, right? Just trying to find a way to make sure you're putting one foot in front of the other on a regular basis, and they usually don't. There's been plenty of time this season where we've seen some brilliance, like that tackle right there, coming up through the middle. Great job by Nikki Downs from either squad, but they then can't back it up.
Zane lays it back for Garay.
Loud's been really, really good on the ball, though. Very clean.
Pass doesn't link up to anybody initially, and it gets cleared. Murphy does well initially, but he is called for a foul, and with that arm flaring up, he'll get our first yellow of the match.
Remember, he was one of the players that has already thrown his weight around. Did it about 15 minutes in, opposite end of the field, top of the 18 on the other side, just outside Loudoun's box. And Vamsi trying to track back here, to your point, Kyle Murphy. It's another silly mistake. You don't have to do it. You've already shielded him off. The momentum is gone. Leave the arm away. The bounce is in front of you. You're just fine. It's another silly mistake for Miami FC.
You mentioned how good Loudoun has been on the ball. They're passing right now at roughly a 90% accuracy rate. And in the final third, it's even better than that. Let's see if it leads to anything in the waning moments of the first half in a 1-1 draw. Garay finds space. Fletcher. Nadi, the initial target. Robinson in that area as well, battling for it, and will be called for a foul. Here in the 41st minute. This match originally supposed to get started at 7:30 local time. Right as we were getting ready to roll, weather rolled in, forced a delay that lasted almost 2 hours before getting liftoff. For the late night here at Segra Field. Loudoun scored first. Miami answered 20 minutes later as a foul will be whistled on Paco Craig. Very nice, Simonson. Now this ball gets loose inside of the box. Miami is able to clear. Fletcher holding it up. Injured Loudoun player back on his feet. Hefty pass there, gets intercepted. Zamudio will reignite the charge.
There's just so much space right down through the middle. Jeremy Garay and Nikki Downs having a field day right now. And I love the understanding between them that they don't have to stay so compressed in. There's this little pivot where they just slide off of each other side to side to get outside of guys like Florian Velo, Bolu Akinyodi, and Speedy Williams. Even when one steps up, it's this 10, 15 yards in between each other. They're providing depth when necessary. It allows them more fluently to push the ball to side and at a faster rate than what you're seeing out of Miami FC. Now, they're still doing a good job of giving themselves opportunities the other direction, but right now, Speedy Williams comes underneath. Where are his options? Flat ball to the left side, and then usually that right there is normally closed down. They don't break right down through the middle as quickly as that.
Sorto with the left, well wide.
than an aggressive Miami team, much as they need to be. Looking to find some more goal-scoring prowess. 1-1 though right now. Fletcher directs the header to the middle of the field. A couple more minutes here before the halftime whistle. Chapman Page. Giveaway. Hustle by Downs through the middle. Flag will go up here for offside. Miami in the midst of what will be a challenging stretch over the next few weeks, roughly 12,000 round-trip miles. A couple visits out west, including that Orange County visit last week. Home in the midweek and then right back on the road. It is going to be a taxing situation for Miami, although Anthony Pulis did say that he likes the way that his team has performed on the road. They will certainly be tested over this stretch to get ready for the final couple months of the year. 3 minutes of stoppage time.
There will be a minimum of 3 minutes of added time to the end of the first
1-1 right now.
3 minutes.
Zane in the 13th minute, Below in the 34th minute. Loudoun and Miami respectively. The goal scoring so far. Green intercepted but couldn't carry the ball and allows for a throw within the final couple minutes. Excellent play by Zane. Space forward if he can take on the defender. Shifts it around. Fletcher touches. Fletcher low, trying to get it to a teammate, and Simonson instead cleared away.
It's a very efficient first half, though, for Loudoun United. 6 shots, 3 of which have hit the frame. The accuracy of the passing, and for me, it's the tight-knit spaces, and really down here in the final third, they're not afraid to take the chances, Michael, but within that, they've got plenty of options. So the balls that they are chasing a little bit are actually pretty high efficiency. Good completion rate and giving themselves options. I'll get that one.
You might have been the closest one to it.
And this is some of the confidence, though, that's been lacking for Loudoun United. And I would say the same thing for Miami FC. The most scary thing here is, you know, they've certainly stepped up to the line against Loudoun. They haven't been poor by any means. You talked about shots on target. They're already double digits into that category. But they got to find a breakthrough. Right? Better possession, not by much. It's a fairly even game overall, but the fact that the age gap, you would expect with the experience level that Miami FC should be the rooster ruling the roost, and that's not the case whatsoever.
Well, how many times have we seen it this year, though, in the championship, where from a numbers standpoint, from a record standpoint, it should be obvious the team that comes away with a victory. Monterey Bay stretched for a little bit of time. Charleston taking down Pittsburgh, amongst others, in that mix. And a team that perhaps at the bottom of the table comes out, performs. But as you were mentioning earlier about some of the youth with this group of Loudoun, it's finding that consistency to be able to perform night in and night out, play 30-plus matches over a 10-month period. And that's a very difficult thing to do when you're a young team.
That's going to be the argument here for Ryan Martin heading into the second half as well, regardless of how this turns out, because they have given themselves a lot of looks on frame. They've only been able to grab the one, and so usually when they start to head towards the 90-minute mark, there's a window there in the 50 to 60, in the 80 to 90, where decision-making starts to escape them and their opposition jumps out in front. Can you lock that down in the second half? Anthony Pulis is going to say that exact phrase, but he's going to talk about all the opportunities in front of net. Totality of play for Loudoun United, finishing for Miami FC, and to the victor will go the spoils.
Entertaining first half of action. 1-1 at the break. Stick with us. Halftime report coming up here as you watch the USL Championship.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Welcome you back to Segra Field, where it is 1-1 at the break between Loudoun and Miami. And news coming the way of Loudoun United here in the recent days. Isaac Espinal, the 16-year-old from Fairfax, Virginia, has signed a contract for the rest of the season. Favorite athlete is Leo Messi. And the place that he'd like to visit would be Cancun, Mexico, for the 16-year-old, and a bright future ahead for him as the teenage pipeline continues for Loudoun United, and a very young team continues for this group in the DC United pyramid. Earlier this week, it was the Summer Showcase, and Mike Watts and Devin Kerr provide the insight from Louisville.
Beautiful scenes here in Louisville in Family Stadium, playing host to the USL Summer Showcase. And while the scoreline finishes 0-0 between Phoenix and Louisville, still plenty of positives to take out of a fun week here. That's Devin Kerr, Mike Watts as well. You know, Dev, ultimately the game is what we all care about, and I think part of the Summer Showcase, while there is a game at the end of it, we're trying to advance the game throughout the week, and we've had a fun chance to do that.
100%. And I still look back at the fact I made the comment coming into the match of, you know, this is going to be the greatest season ever for the USL Championship because of growth and depth and all of that. Look at where this league has come. You and I first got an opportunity to call a game together in 2017. We were part of that run from Louisville City into the Eastern Conference Final against Red Bull 2. And yet, the new stadiums for everybody coming in, the quality of talent for all of these teams, the future is so bright for the USL Championship. It's academy players, the CBA that's gone on. You've really gotten a pure look from everything that Jake Edwards talks about in the summer meetings, in the winter meetings, but it's actually coming to fruition. These aren't just rumors. Things are playing out right in front of our eyes. We are changing the soccer landscape in the United States for the better every single season.
Well, our genuine thanks to everybody in Louisville for being such welcoming hosts. We hope to see you again real soon. For Devin, Mike, so long from the USL Summer Showcase in Louisville, Kentucky.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
Trying to take down their rival. The legend has done it again here in Sacramento. He's turned the whole game around.
It's a goal for Orange County SC and their first of the season.
And that's full time. The old guard with a new trophy. Orange County wins the USL Championship final.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Loudoun and Miami deadlocked at 1 after 45 minutes of action here at Segra Field in Leesburg, Virginia. Michael Watrang back with you as we take a look at the news and the notes from around the rest of the USL Championship. Pittsburgh reacquiring Robbie Mertz while Robbie Crawford returns to Charleston Battery. Turn back the clock night for those two moves. Remember, Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup in just a couple days. Sacramento Republic hosting Sporting KC. That is in the semifinals of that. ESPN Plus will have it July 27th. Sacramento Republic ends a 12-game home string as well. No team will be undefeated at home, and that's the first time since 2018 that has occurred. One other note while we're thinking about it, the USW League is in the final. They are in extra time as it stands right now, tied at 1 between Minnesota and Tormenta. Early scores from around the USL Championship. Tampa, FC Tulsa, and Pittsburgh all take away 3 points. Draws in the other matches. That New Mexico-Detroit game was a thriller from start to finish, and a fine effort from those two sides in the interconference matchup. A 2-2 draw shows at the end of the tally. That is the scores from around the early slate of action in the USL Championship. Here it is a 1-1 draw at the break. First half highlights and the stats, second half kick as well, coming your way here in just a moment. We're tied at 1, Loudoun and Miami FC. Stick with us, second half right around the corner.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Welcome back to Segra Field, a 1-1 draw after the opening 45 minutes as we take a look at the first half stats from this matchup, Loudoun and Miami. And it started with a fine build-up from Loudoun United. Christian Fletcher starting it along the left side, a lot of space for him. His shot attempt hits Paco Craig in the back. Abdul Zane on the back post, there to clean it up. Off of the rebound opportunity, tucks one just off the inside of the bar and into the net. Loudoun with a 1-0 lead. Off of a set piece, this was finally positioned for Chapman Page, but Zamudio with a strong save. Right paw, right post, pushes it out of play. Moments later, off of the build-up for Loudoun, looking to go ahead 2-0 at the time. Christian Fletcher took aim from just outside of the box, and a nice save from Connor Sparrow, pushing it over the top of the bar to ensure that Miami would stay down by a goal. That proved valuable because roughly 7 minutes later, in the 34th minute, good work from Miami, passing through the middle of the field. Stanley sets the stage with Florian Velo in the middle of the area, nodding it to the ground, and just past Zamudio to equalize the matchup and pull Miami level at 1 apiece. First half stats in this one. How about that? 18 total shots already, 8 shots on target for two teams that are amongst the 4 lowest scoring teams in the USL Championship on the season. At this point, passing efficiency has been terrific as well for these two sides, and we can only hope that we enjoy the same level of excitement and entertainment in half number 2 that was the first half here between these two clubs. 6th all-time meeting. Loudoun has won just one matchup in the all-time series. Miami scored at least 2 goals in 4 of the first 5 meetings, and if you remember, the last time these teams met back at Segra Field was October of last season. Loudoun winning it 3-2. They fell behind 1-0 and 2-1 before Giovanni Bolivar had the game winner in the 86th minute. As we take a look at the updated standings right now, the point for Miami would ensure that they would stay in 7th on the league table. And then the question mark becomes, with games in hand, Loudoun needs a little bit of help, but they can get it from themselves. Sitting right now at 11th, actually tied for 10th if you look at those numbers, but a big difference there between Indy 11 and the number 10 spot. And the question will become, Loudoun make a push for the playoffs here at this point in the season? And it all starts here in the second half, tied at 1. Here we go for half number 2. Kevin mentioned it in the first half. Miami has lost 6 and drawn 1 when they concede the opening goal. Standing right now at a 1-1 draw between these two clubs. Let's see how this second half plays out. Here from Segra Field, great to have you with us, Michael Watring and our crew, bringing you the action here from Segra Field. Hope you had your snacks ready for half number 2 to sit back, relax, and enjoy this contest. Jacob Green lays it back. Now shifting Fields Robinson all the way to the far left-hand side. And this is what Loudoun has done very well. Simonson looking to create some space. What adjustments did these two teams make at the break? It was a good matchup offensively between these two sides with the shot attempts and the attacking possession. And that was surprising against a Miami team that matches Lou City for the clean sheet lead. This ball thrown into the box. It gets headed away before Rivas steps to it. Murphy holds it up. Good strength. No numbers forward. He decides to wait and lay it back. Stanley had the assist in the opening half. Decides to go backwards. Stanley can't link up to it.
County's been super stout from a defensive perspective all season long. Speaking with Anthony Pulis, when you look at the schedule, like perhaps for a couple matches there that the defense was losing its form, including giving up a season-high 4 goals to Pittsburgh. Craig called for the foul. But Pulis mentioned that, yes, they did give up those 4. Yes, they did make mistakes, giving up 3 goals off of set pieces in that matchup, but said that that's more the anomaly than it is what this team can be built for. And after a run where giving up goals, it started to become all too familiar. Back-to-back clean sheets entering this evening, 3 of the last 4. And in a position, if they can find a second goal, perhaps to take points away from Loudoun on the road. Williams spins. Craig in the middle of the yard. There's Craig again, playing collegiately at Young Harris, Division II school in Georgia. That ball gets spiked out. Stanley gobbles it up, throws it quickly. Rivas with pace. Just wanted a foul, wasn't going to get the whistle, and now Loudoun will turn it around. Green goes to the ground, no foul whistle. He stayed there for a fraction of a second, and then this ball touched out of play. Last touched by Miami. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at selectsportamerica.com. Select, league choices, player's choice. Corner kick coming up for Loudoun. Faithful fans have hung around for this matchup. A facility that shared on occasion with the NWSL's Washington Spirit. Beautiful venue here in Leesburg, Virginia. Let's see how Loudoun handles this corner. It goes to the back post. Intended target was Vom Stieg, and a foul is whistled against Loudoun. Connor Sparrow, fine season, 8 clean sheets in his back pocket. The W League final being played at US Bank Stadium, the home of the Minnesota Vikings. Still 1-1 between Minnesota and Tormenta. They're into that second 15-minute window of overtime. Good switch across the pitch here. Decisions to be made for Loudoun. It gets settled down. And a foul is going to be whistled. Zumana Diarra, second half substitute, goes down, and this will certainly set up a fine chance. Simonson. He's the one that wants it right now. Out of Norway, played collegiately at SMU. Simonson strikes it. Too high this time, however. So Simonson decided to take a long-range shot attempt. Paco Craig. Miami had to make a change to its back line with Chapman Page entering for the injured Afemu. Williams leads it forward. Speedy Williams out wide for Stanley. Defense a little tighter this time around from Loudoun. Akinyoti. Possession very good right now for Miami. However, the pass, and that's been the frustrating aspect for this Miami group all season, finding that extra touch. And that's what we spoke with Anthony Pulis earlier this week about. When asked how do they improve goal scoring, he said that the biggest key that they worked on this week in training was trying to create realistic situations to score in front of the goal. Find or get players to the front of the net and make sure that the players are getting in the habits to finish in front of the frame. I mentioned that you sprinkle in some elements to build the players' confidence. Don't panic at this point in the season. Done well to build. Now it's just finishing. 55th minute. A 1-1 tally at this juncture. Green sprinting. Simonson flares it out wide left. Downs. Simonson right back to Downs. Throws it through the middle. Sparrow there. Connor Sparrow began his collegiate career at Missouri, Kansas City before transferring to Creighton. He's been around the block with a variety of stops. Now Salt Lake, Monarchs, Nashville, Chicago. Miami, and he's turned into one of the best keepers in the USL Championship. After that electric opening half of action, we played roughly 10 minutes, one shot attempt. And a change coming here for Loudoun. It is going to be Michael Gamble coming on, replacing Jeremy Garay. Substitutes brought to you by Segra. Gamble, 27 years of age.
Substitution in the 56th minute.
Third season with Loudoun.
14, Jeremy Garay. Entering the match,
Garay
number 10, Michael
sees his time come to a close.
All substitutions are brought to you by Segra.
Matches from around the East that already provide some moments. Tampa taking down Atlanta. The late slate getting ready to start as well. You wonder what kind of changes both of these coaching staffs might make. Of course, there's Romeo Parks, the team's leading goal scorer for Miami, available. Mentioned bright young Egyptian star Abu Kara Al-Buchi, representing his team in the
Arab Cup, the U20s. And that dazzling brace against Phoenix Rising a few weeks ago. 58th minute. Looking for a little more attacking style that we had in the first half. And a foul whistled. Take a look at some of the scores from around the Western Conference. Halftime results so far: El Paso and San Antonio 0-0. 28th minute, San Diego and RGV likewise scoreless. Oakland and Las Vegas still looking for their first goal as well. Final one to keep you updated on: Monterey Bay, thanks to a goal from Simon Dawkins in the 15th minute. On top of Red Bulls 2, and a Red Bulls team that had gone a long time without finding the net. Foul whistled on Miami. Akinyoti, the guilty party. Here's another glance at that sequence. Two players that started to go to the ground. It's always one that you have to be frustrated with. Akinyoti was in front of the Loudoun defender, and he gets carded here in the 59th minute. Second one given to Miami. It's a late goal in the USL W League Championship. Jaden Nyby in the 116th minute has put the visiting Tormenta FC on top 2-1 against Minnesota. And now a few more minutes to go for the inaugural championship, if that holds. Here, we played roughly an hour. 1-1, Loudoun, Miami. Michael Watrang with our entire crew for this one. You take a look at this one. There's Diarra getting called for the foul, as well as shown a yellow card as well. First one committed by Loudoun in the matchup. Looks like Florian Velo took the brunt of that. He scored the equalizer in the 34th minute. The reigning title holders visit in-state rivals as the USL on ESPN2 continues. Orange County FC looks for a late season surge against Sacramento Republic FC. September 18th, 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Well, this will, in essence, work as a little bit of a hydration break with Velo injured. We've already seen Afemu come off of the field with a knee injury. While Velo gets tended to, gives us a chance to take a look at the recent power rankings in the USL Championship. It's coming out earlier this week. Tampa Bay, that riding that terrific little run of play, a team that started off slow, has regained its form and has been nearly unbeatable in the last month and a half. San Antonio has been their start to finish, one of the strongest defensive units in the league. There's Lou City coming off of that crazy finish last week against Memphis. Holding strong in the number 3 slot. was a wild one. 13 cards. It finished 10v9. Derek Dotson, a field player, had to suit up with a keeper's kit for the final 10 minutes. He nearly scored at the end of that one to pull Memphis level. Brian Ownby netting a brace, continuing his hot string of play. Miami to get the free kick in the 63rd minute. Over the head of Sorto from Rivas. And with moments to go, before perhaps some more changes between these two sides, we're still looking for some of that attacking prowess that we had in the first. 18 combined shots in the first 45 minutes. In the second half, we have only seen one official shot attempt. It came from Loudoun. There's a foul whistled on Velo, who just came back onto the pitch. Gamble holding on to possession. Loudoun's been good on these passing situations, and again it happens. That final pass doesn't link up. Gamble, though, does run back onto it. Play through Green. Fired through the box, and Sparrow again with the stop. And Miami, this has been an all too familiar tale for this team. At times looking dangerous, at times looking potent. And then the ability to play that consistently throughout the match. Still no shot attempts here in the second half, and we've played nearly 20 minutes. Green again. There are a couple subs you see there. Freeman and Baugh ready to enter. At the next opportunity. Freeman's a terrific goal scorer. Baugh's had a couple moments for Miami. Ball comes up and whacks below in his upper body, and a foul is whistled. Fans here at Segra Field unhappy. Now, look like we will get the changes. Othello Baugh comes in. And Tyler Freeman, 5 goals on the season, the team's leading goal scorer. He replaces Fletcher, who put in a very nice 65 minutes on the pitch. Subs brought to you by Segra. Rivas comes out for Miami.
Number 45, Christian Fletcher, and entering the match, number 11, Tyler Freeman. Miami FC substitution in the 66th minute. Exiting the match, number 17, Joaquin Rivas, and entering the match, number 2, Othello Baugh. All substitutions are brought to you by
Here's one of the biggest differences between the two sides at this point. 7 shots inside of the box for Miami, just 2 for Loudoun. Freeman with those 5 goals. As we were talking about in the first half with Ryan Martin, can Freeman be consistent in his form? And that he sat on the bench in the Bayern Munich friendly earlier this week for DC United. Wayne Rooney took a liking to Freeman. Question though, can Freeman earn that first team call up? Gavin Page goes out wide. Segbers. Decisions to be had here as Speedy Williams. Akinyoti. It's a very nice switch of fields. Velo. Baugh to continue the run. He did not oblige. And Loudoun able to get it out of the 18-yard box. Segbers drives to the top of the box, lays off for Murphy. And it's given away, but a good interception by Williams. Williams. Ball again, the target. Really good stuff here from Miami. Can they finish it? Craig takes aim from distance, and impatience shown that time around by Miami.
Once again, fans, last call.
It was a terrific build,
at the 75th minute.
and eventually just comes to a screeching halt. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home of the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. There's Tyler Freeman, 3 goals in his last 4. Leads the team in goal scoring so far this season, the 19-year-old midfielder. Played at Wake Forest for a brief moment. He's been a good goal scorer in his time. Here's a set piece for Miami. Here comes the ball towards the back post. Headed away. Loudoun controls. There is Freeman latching onto it. Diarra is his option forward. The flag stays down. Diarra racing. Reinforcements entering. Diarra shot blocked. Freeman won't get another crack at it. It goes out. No, check that. It'll be an offside flag, with Freeman giving chase after it. Probably should have been allowed in corner. Well, we mentioned the road stretch, 5 of the next 6 on the road. It certainly understands the situation. The mentality has to be correct. Certainly can't go in with a 60 to 70% margin. Freeman is going to get shown a yellow card. How about that decision to be made?
A yellow card has been issued in the 70th minute to Loudoun United's number 11, Tyler Freeman.
Well, early scoring in LA Galaxy 2 Orange County. An Orange County team that had racked up back-to-back clean sheets falls victim to Preston Judd. Judd has been absolutely dynamic for the Galaxy. It is his 29th career goal, now 1 behind Ariel Lassiter for the all-time Los Dos lead. It's his 12th of the season. And Galaxy 2 on top in that matchup on its home pitch against Orange County. 3rd-minute strike from Judd. Here we had an eventful and exciting opening 45 minutes of play. In the second half, however, we've had 1 shot apiece. Neither have been on target. Still roughly 20 more minutes to go. Below with a touch, looking for Sorto. Swatting and swimming, but fouling. Right along the touchline. Well, remember, Miami has not scored multiple goals in a match since May 28th. 8 in a row with 1 or fewer. Green will gobble it up. Long ball sent along the sideline. Looking to latch up to it with Segbers. Dangerous passing through the middle of the field for a moment. Freeman getting to his right, sliding through, putting a shot into the hands of Sparrow. Juicy rebound for a moment, but a fine chance there from Loudoun's leading goal scorer. Here's another glance at it, the initial touches from Freeman before he made the decision to take a shot attempt. Below. Holds it up and plays back for Akinyoti. Williams driving along the sideline and getting it taken off of his feet. Downs whistled. Frustration perhaps setting in for this Loudoun crew. It's been a very fine run of form for Loudoun at home. Wins over Phoenix and Red Bulls 2 in its last 5 home matches, and this sets up Stanley. Here comes the kick into the box, and it's headed away. Sorto flies back in. Pushed into the air. Akinyoti taken down, no foul whistled. Loudoun looking to mount a charge. Decisions to be made, and the wrong one perhaps as Akinyoti intercepts. Now this cross goes in, and it's over the head. Freeman touches it to the ground. Freeman freelancing through the middle, coming back to his right. Diarra. Downs. Nicky Downs into the hands of Sparrow. Pretty good build-up for Loudoun. And the home side starting to find a little bit more dangerous touches in the attacking third. Baugh. Sent around Craig. Williams from well outside of the box, and a good save from Zamudio. Well, it's another corner kick here for Miami, as you take another look at Williams' shot from outside of the box.
Velo will take this corner kick. Florian Velo has a goal in this match. Doesn't find a blue jersey as it gets headed out. This time it is a throw here for Miami. Segbers will walk down to take the throw. 14 shots to 9 in favor of Miami. 6-5 in terms of shots on frame. Williams an interception. Loudoun calmly controls, however. Leaks it forward. Space. Freeman running on the right-hand side. He gets the pass, but it doesn't have enough weight on it as it gets intercepted. Loudoun latches back onto it. This time Freeman will get possession. Freeman to the end line. High arcing pass over everybody and cleared away by Sorto. Throw in for Loudoun and a sub coming as well for Miami. Richard Ballard will replace Christian Sorto in the lineup.
Miami FC substitution in the 79th minute. Exiting the match, number 14, Christian Sorto. Entering the match, number 11, Richard Ballard. All substitutions are brought to you by Segra.
Green makes the charge forward. Freeman lays it back. Loudoun has just 4 wins this season. One of the worst goal differentials in the USL Championship. Loudoun wanted a handball. They aren't going to get the call. Murphy was making that run. Instead, Williams decides to pivot and go backwards. Chapman Page. All this room on this sideline over here. Instead, Ballard spinning around and trying to do it himself. Akinyoti. Baugh holding it, sending it backwards. Stanley has the assist into the box. Headed away on a pass intended for Chapman Page. A throw coming here for Loudoun. Ballard thought perhaps it should have been more, and indeed the lead referee, Michael Saney, overrules his assistant.
Absolutely not.
And the fans not happy about that call.
Come on, man.
Williams. Let's see if Freeman can reignite another charge. Flies this one through the middle. There's space. Simonson. Shot is blocked. Sidewinding spin will keep it with Loudoun. This ball pedaled back in. Freeman, nifty move. Freeman well wide. Well, you're seeing the possibilities starting to erupt for Tyler Freeman. He is flirting with some opportunities. Still about 10 more minutes to go. Zane, a goal in the 13th minute for Loudoun. Put the club ahead 1-0. 34th minute, Velo responded with a header. No action so far in the second half. Do one of these teams have a decisive goal that can steal away 3 points? Excellent move. Through some space here. Ballard goes down, no foul whistled. Diarra flies it forward. It's an excellent pass. Simonson taken down in the box, and it goes out for a corner kick. Miami perhaps lucky that it wasn't more than that. Take another glance at this. Excellent ball forward. Simonson with the ball on his feet. It was a very nice, fine tackle from Craig. And now a corner kick coming up. The yellow card will be shown to the Miami bench here in the 83rd minute. Pulis getting the yellow.
A yellow card has been issued in the 83rd minute to the Miami FC bench.
So now a corner kick. Freeman will be the one that takes it. 11 goals in his career. Is he the table setter this time around, however? With bodies in the box in the 84th minute, Tyler Freeman, the young attacking player, pushes this one way high into the box. Robinson heads it down, and there'll be a foul whistled on Loudoun. That pass is behind Simonson this time around. Williams. Baugh. Othello Baugh. Below to the middle. Zamudio with an excellent save inside of the box. Making sure that nobody for Miami would get a rebound chance or the initial touch. Diarra with a lengthy run. Two defenders run into him. He's the last one to touch it. Looks like Josu Landry will come onto the pitch. 21 years of age, out of Ivory Coast. Second year with Loudoun. And he will replace Simonson.
Loudoun United substitution in the 86th minute. Exiting the match, number 8, Skage Simonsen. Entering the match, number 19, Landry Husu. All substitutions are brought
So
to you
Husu
by
into the match. 86th minute. It's a Miami team that struggles to score goals in high volume. Only the Red Bulls, too, have fewer goals than Loudoun this year. Valo was looking for Baugh. Never was going to reach him. It's handled well, and Landry is first touch for Husu. Freeman racing. Freeman couldn't get past the defender. He had the right idea, was trying to nutmeg the final line.
Come on, Osu! Come on, Osu! Come on, Tyler! With the ball! Organized West defense!
Chapman Page's pass doesn't end up reaching a teammate, and Speedy Williams crushes it out. This ball gets switched across the field. Robinson had to wait for it. He gives it away. Murphy, Kyle Murphy. Murphy onto the more powerful foot. He slips though, and it goes out wide.
moment there, you felt like the flashbacks of years past was going to happen. Second straight match in which Zamudio has needed to make 5 saves. '88th minute. Can't imagine there will be a ton of stoppage time added as well. Fairly good pace second half. And a foul whistled this time around. Diarra the call. Stanley. Below. Williams had to wait on it. Ends up getting it back. Can't hold on to it, however. Husu flares it along in an excellent slide tackle by Stanley. Takes out Liati. Green's throw for Husu. Gamble. Down circles. And a foul is whistled on Downs as Ballard was giving chase. And Downs indeed is going to get a yellow card for his troubles.
A yellow card has been issued in the 89th minute to Loudoun United's number 15, Nikki Downs.
Fine move forward. Sent out towards ball. Flicks it forward, was looking for Ballard. Loudoun clears.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes.
4 minutes of stoppage time.
End of the second half.
One of those two teams have a stunner. Freeman giving chase. Sparrow comes to it. Has to leave his box. Devin Kerr talked about it in the first half. There have been moments this year with Loudoun that they haven't been able to finish this thing out. Can they do it in this one? Pass forward. Below continues on his run as Ballard goes down, and there is a foul on Loudoun, and it will set up an opportunity here for Miami. Take another look at this pass from below. And Ballard gets taken down. And now a set piece opportunity, and Stanley will be on top of the ball. Stanley has an assist already in the match. He pushes this one towards the back post. It's flicked opposite way, below to the middle. Another header hits the crossbar before it's punched home. Paco Craig puts Miami on top. And for the first time in 2 months, Miami has scored multiple goals in a match. And the visitors have a 2-1 lead. Here's another look at it. The header back across. Headed to the ground by Chapman Page off of the crossbar. It was loose, and Paco Craig gets his first goal since 2021.
And Miami FC on the road has put up a pair. Loudoun scored in the 13th minute. We're on top 1-0. Miami has failed to score multiple goals in its last 8. Had not won a match this season when conceding first. Not out of the woods yet. Now Murphy racing onto it. And the veteran will elect to take to the corner flag. Well, Miami just looking to waste time now. Ballard in the corner. Should be Loudoun ball. And a yellow card given to Ballard. Yellows have been free-flowing in this matchup. Well, the numbers would tell you that Miami deserving of a couple goals in this match. An XG of nearly 2. 17 shot attempts.
A yellow card was issued in
This ball gets pounded forward. Is there any time left for Loudoun? If there is, it has to come right now. Gamble spins. Lays it off for Freeman, touches it for Robinson. Akinyoti clears. Official says that there's more time left. Freeman with one last gasp. Tyler Freeman gets it taken off of his feet. One final check of the watch. Miami will just select to send this one long. There's the final whistle. And for the first time in 8 matches this season, Miami concedes first, but comes up with a win. The final margin, Miami FC finalizes this one 2-1 over Loudoun. The last time Miami scored multiple goals was May 28th. They do so here tonight. Craig's first of the season wins it for Miami FC. Time for the save of the match presented by Segra. A lot to choose from Zamudio tonight. And this one from Othelabah, sending it out wide. Below pushes it through, and Zamudio did very well. Look at the 2 runners, one in front of him, one behind him. He gobbles it up, kept it tied at the time. And a nice match for Zamudio, who finishes with 5 saves on the evening. But Miami takes the 3 points. The final score, 2-1 Miami. Stick with us. We'll have full-time highlights, stats, and sign off as Miami takes down Loudoun 2-1 here from Leesburg, Virginia. Stick with us to wrap it up.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Miami takes down Loudoun 2-1 in a second half that didn't feature a whole lot of action. We got our winning moment in the waning sex as for Loudoun. Christian Fletcher driving forward. His shot attempt would get blocked, but it falls perfectly to Abdul Zadeh, who scores for the second time this season, puts Loudoun ahead 1-0. 34th minute, Aiden Stanley, who had been a table setter all season long for Miami. Look at this build-up. Williams, Murphy, Akinyoti, and then Stanley flies it into the middle. Below finds a pocket of space, flicks a perfect header just outside of the reach of Zamudio. 1-1 at that point. Not a whole lot of action for a time before Tyler Freeman decided to take aim at Sparrow, but that was the story of the night for Loudoun. A couple shots that fell into Sparrow's hands. And then in the second minute of stoppage time, this pass set up a great opportunity. A couple headers, one off of the crossbar before Paco Craig punches it through the defense and into the top corner of the net to provide the victory. It's the 13th time this year that Loudoun has allowed a goal in the last 15 minutes of a matchup, and they fall in this one by a final score of 2-1. Possession favors Miami, 54%, as Miami FC gets its multiple goal game for the first time since May 28th. First time that Miami wins since October of 2021 when conceding the first goal of the match. So for our entire crew here, my partner was Devin Kerr. I'm Michael Watreng signing off. A thrilling matchup that featured 29 shot attempts, a dozen on goal, but it is Miami coming away with a victory. The final tally, Miami FC 2, Loudoun United 1. This has been a presentation of the USL Championship. Thanks so much for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.